What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Good morning, team. Ooh, beginning of a week. If you guys are trading futures at all, you probably just gonna take the day off. I mean, that was a wild move we've had from the market open, but we did just come off a 3-day weekend. The market is moving crazy. We do have Ukraine and Russia headlines every 2.5 seconds. Market is pretty much volatile to whatever news comes out, and that's the kind of market that I think we are sitting in right now. So we'll see. We'll go through some of the stocks. We'll figure out what is happening. We got Cam in the house. Good morning, Cam. D. David Rodriguez is here. Donna, Greg Hill, Joe, John. We got the YouTubers out there live. Oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So there is some. I mean, look at let's go to the futures real quick. Actually, just how wild that went from. We are panic selling. The world is ending to we're still down a little bit, but we're pretty much right back to where we were before. But these moves, I mean, for futures is nutty, just absolutely crazy. So we have, like I said, we're pretty much back to where we were, down very slightly, but still down. We'll see how that affects the SPY itself. So with the SPY, this would have been a big retest, and I don't think we have to put on the bull hat yet. I think it's very early to tell if we get any recovery. We had a lot of selling really the last few days, so probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like for the last week, we've been absolutely getting crushed. Rumors of war with Ukraine might keep us from going bullish. Yeah, I think you're right, David. So it's very headline driven. So anytime Putin comes out and goes, no, I'm not sending troops, they're peacemakers. You're like, all right, well, that's good, I guess. That means you don't have war. And then he's like, psych, it's actually troops, got you again. And then like the market goes all bearish again. So everything is honestly, it's based off of it. And there's a lot which makes sense I mean, we're not at war yet, at least. So there's a lot of I guess the best way to put it is just mind games going into it as to what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. So the market is hanging on to everything. Don't forget, in the background, we also have the drummers. In the background, we do still have inflation. Like that didn't go away, but at least the Russian-Ukraine war is a good distraction from inflation for at least a little bit. Give some a little pressure off the inflation topic. But there's a couple catalysts out there why we could definitely go lower. I mean, even looking at the SPY, we're below every single moving average, at least that I have on the screen. Peacemakers being sent to a place where he is the one causing the lack of peace. I mean, there's no easier way to fix a problem than to be the one that started in the first place. You usually have the best solutions on how to come out of that one. So we're still hanging in there in the market. The fact that we actually recovered, decent sign, but this would have been a retest gap. So even if we opened down here at this 426, 427, market probably would have freaked out for a couple minutes, but I'd be looking actually to go bullish into the retest. That's already kind of happened. I have to wait, be patient, and see at this point. I mean, honestly, I don't know which way the market's going to take it, but I'd probably have to lean a little bit bearish. Just saying that we came in, we filled that gap. Do we have a wave count in here at all? Where's my annotate thing? My Zoom is all like, I don't know. So maybe this from pre-market is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like our ABC. And then we look to break. I'd be looking at the SPY at that level's key. You're going to have some kind of target right down here, 430.19. And then we're going to see if we go lower from there. We do have a little bit of a technically a bullish pennant pattern right now. We could easily break out of there as well. If that's the case, probably be looking for, how do I get my Zoom? My Zoom thing's like crazy. I don't know. It's like on a different screen. It's very strange. Targets, if we do go higher, 436.50. So we don't have that much leeway. The one thing though, with the long side of things, look at how many people came in short. Look how many people are in short from last week alone. And there's not been a lot of buying toward the end of the week. So there's a lot of people sitting on shorts right now. You could get a relatively decent squeeze in the market if we do head bullish. Like there's a lot of shorts that have not covered a single share. Well, why would they go into a 3-day week? So if we do go bullish, we have a good shot to rip. I think if we go bearish, it's going to be exactly how we saw it on Thursday, Friday, where we just slowly drip, slowly bleed. How do I know they haven't covered? Look at the volume that came in on these last couple of days. That's a good question, dude. So look at the volume that came in. I don't like this. Like my annotate button is on a different screen. It's going to drive me nuts all day. Guarantee it. But look at the red candles that came in. How much of a wick do you see down there? Not much. How much of a wick do you see down there? A decent amount, but look at the volume that came in too. And we ended up lower. Like there's a lot of shorts still out there on the table. Look at the volume that came in on this day, right? We never broke out past that day, right? So anybody that shorted this day, those guys are still profitable, still hanging on. There's been no, besides those 2 green days, which are just, honestly, they're just inside that one big candle. You're still sitting there with a lot of people shorted. Like there hasn't been that many rips in the market, even on Thursday, Friday, like I mentioned. The market itself just dripped down. There was no reason, there was no bounce to really excite people or freak people out in the market to get them to start being like, all right, let me take my profit now. So there's definitely still a lot of shorts out there. Let's check out the Qs. And if we do go bullish, I mean, again, it could be a decent momentum. I don't think longer term we're heading bullish, but it's possible at least. I would still be looking at everything as a little bit leaning short at this point, just having the assumption like, okay, this is a retest gap. We're just retesting pre-market. So that's how I think I'd have to lean. I don't think there's really any good catalysts out there yet that I could see or think of. Some earnings are out there. We do have like Home Depot reported today. There was a couple other guys which had relatively good earnings. I think Home Depot increased their dividends. So we'll take a look at them in a second as well. But same thing with the Qs. Your nice down day. Would have opened a lot lower, already kind of coming in for that retest. So honestly, we have to be patient at open and just see which way we actually want to crush, if we want to go higher or lower. I think the edge is a little bit more to the bearish side, but if we do start going bullish, I think we have to get some of those people to cover, and we'll probably see a much quicker move to the upside, which is rare. Usually you see a much quicker move to the downside. Home Depot reported, I believe, was it this morning? I believe this morning. So they beat earnings, they beat revenue, solid company. They're not going anywhere. They're getting beat up off of it. They actually had some buyback programs, all positive, and they did increase their dividends as well. They are down a little bit, and I think in this market, it makes sense. So like, I wouldn't mind adding Home Depot to a long-term portfolio. I just don't think in this, I don't think in this market right now, I think it's better to keep the dry powder on the side. If the way I do the long term, I just have a monthly deposit each month. I haven't in February. I haven't added. I added the deposit, but I haven't bought anything. Just because if this market pulls back better, and in the, like, if you're looking at all the portfolios, like the long term is still up, like it's still positive. It's come down off the highs for sure, but if I'm skipping a month or skip 2 months and then I have just a bigger position after things are just kind of coming down and falling, now all of a sudden that long-term portfolio becomes a lot stronger. So I think, again, you're just way off the lows. You're still coming down a little bit. They reported very healthy. I didn't see anything wrong with the report itself. I didn't see the guidance yet, so I haven't had a chance to see the guidance. So that could be something that brings it down, but everything else is all positive. And I think it's just, you're in that market where we're going to sell anything. Get out with a profit if you could. Yep, DWAC. Truth Social came out on what day was the notification coming out? I think it was like Sunday night. So I think they tried to do it right before President's Day. It's still beta. Like I see bulls, bears going back and forth. You're still in beta mode as of right now. So they weren't expecting to do a full launch. Only if people pre-registered with Apple did they get the notification. Anybody else that's trying to jump in, they still have to wait. And even a lot of the people that got in on the just the pre-registration, they're on a waiting list. So a lot of the bears are saying like, okay, yeah, there's trouble right away. Honestly, I think it's more of a positive for it. The one thing I would say though is like it's just a copy. Honestly, it's a copy of Twitter, right? It's a copy of Twitter. Yes, it's more conservative leaning, but the idea of it is that there's less restrictions on what you can say and can't say, and it's supposed to be ideally open for more free speech and not so much fact checkers and all that stuff. So how it plays out, who knows? The one thing I would be concerned with, so I would watch DWAC for a trade today. I think we could get another run. I mean, we're already pre-market ran up to 138. We've already sold a lot of that back. I wouldn't be holding this one for a swing trade. The valuation makes zero sense to me right now. It's valued at like $3 billion. It's absolutely insane. So I wouldn't be taking this one as any type of put it in the long term, hold it for more than a day trade. For me, I wouldn't even hold this thing overnight. For me, just I don't want to put that risk on. This thing could move any which way. But it's a good sign, at least for like if there's a company that's going to run today, DWAC has a good shot. My other pick for today is actually, and it's on the list for the 6 that we could trade, is AMD. AMD, I like this hourly hammer a lot. I just wanted to pull back a little bit, and I would be very interested. So, was it hourly? Oh yeah, it's hourly with the pre-market though. Let me just see. Hourly, I think they had an upgrade today as well. They look a little bit different than the rest of the market. So the rest of the market is kind of coming in. We actually might get an opportunity, but again, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I like this hammer a lot. So there's a good trap hammer that came in on AMD. I would be looking to go long, but I would have to wait for some kind of a pullback first. So you have a good support. You have a good little bear trap down there as well. Solid hammer, good close, trapping maybe some bulls or people that just finally just threw the towel in and sold their shares. Nice bullish engulfing candle afterwards. I do think that this gap will come in and get retested. So if this thing gets down to the price point, somewhere around 112 and change, somewhere around that zone, maybe something like this, I'd be looking to have some kind of an entry, maybe a swing trade, something like that. But it does look different. Targets will probably be up here, which is, I believe, the 100 EMA. It's either the 100 or 200. Let me click it. Yeah, depends on what chart I'm on. I believe this is actually the 200. Let me see. 200. Yep. So the 200. So probably up to the 120. So you could make maybe about $8 per trade. But fundamentals are solid with AMD. I mean, value. This is a market where valuation definitely matters. They're going to hold up on that end for sure. So I would be looking at this. You have a little bit of resistance. Probably get some kind of sell at the open. That would make sense. And again, somewhere around that 112 and change zone, that's where I'd be looking to buy and try to just play that. My stop right underneath that hammer. So if that hammer's wrong, for me, I'll just take a loss and just be like, all right, it's not time yet. But solid team. I like what they're doing. Again, steady earnings. Every single earning report's been solid for these guys. Looking for it's about 30% off the highs. So that would be a company I would be interested in. I just wanted to pull back. You already have 1, 2, 3, 4 strong candles on an hourly chart coming in, but we'll watch it. So part of the 10 EMA, it has to gap or move past the high of yesterday for us to be able to trade it within the first 20 minutes. If that happens, which could be at open, maybe we get a little excitement on it, something like that, just having some kind of an upgrade. we might get the opportunity to trade that one. Everything else that I looked at is going to be probably a wait the first 20 minutes. We would need NVIDIA to actually drop a little bit, and with the momentum from AMD, I don't know necessarily that happens, but we'll wait and find out and see. But we need pretty much anything below 230.67, probably a little lower. So if we get a dip down, we might have the opportunity. We got a lot of room to run to the upside. Maybe we get a little sympathy. NVIDIA is a very strong company as well, but I like anything in the chip sector right now. So AMD maybe gives it a little love for NVIDIA, just hoping that we get some kind of a dip first. And if AMD dips at the open, NVIDIA might do the same. So we'll watch that one for sure. Roblox, I mean, just been weak sauce. On an hourly, we're below all moving averages. On a daily, way below all moving averages for sure. 10 EMA on a, I mean, we're below just everything. I don't see a reason to really want to go long. You have your 200 coming in roughly about 49.55. I think that's probably the upside for today. You even have on a TTM, we just had a TTM squeeze and we're pushing bearish momentum. So believe it or not, Roblox probably could come down further. We'll see. Bagwell in YouTube says chip stocks are lower due to potential shipping issues, supply. Yeah, and again, if you're listening to, we just recorded another Pivot podcast last night, so that would be released. I'm not sure the release date on that one, probably a week or two. But we had Falco on. He was talking about, like, if you listen to the earnings calls, well, the conference calls after earnings, like a majority of companies are still saying there's supply chain issues. Right. So, yeah, the chips could be lower due to the shipping issues for sure. But again, it's just, there's still, if you have to cherry pick a company, I would go with probably something in the chip field, NVIDIA's, AMD. And I think AMD, I like on that pullback a little bit more, but I wouldn't turn my nose over at NVIDIA for sure as well. So we'll see what happens. But Roblox, again, just still kind of a little bit more bearish sentiment if we trade it. I don't think we're going to get the opportunity in the first 20. We might. All right. So if we get a little dip on Roblox, that might be added to the list. We'll see pre-market. We still got 11 minutes till the market opens. Oh, good afternoon from South Africa. What is up? What is happening? Tesla, we will actually have the opportunity, it looks like, unless something crazy happens, to go make a play in the first 20 minutes, maybe at open. Interestingly enough, we do have on a daily chart, this is kind of interesting. So we have bullish momentum coming in. We were just in a TTM squeeze as well. It's not perfect. All of our moving averages are kind of just jumbled up, leaning a little bit more bearish than bullish. And on Friday, we actually just flipped that over to a bearish momentum. So we'll see how this one plays out today. Today's going to be a very important day for Tesla. The one thing I would definitely look at is where that 200 EMA is on the daily chart. If we get a close below, I looked at a lot of stocks yesterday, and most of them, a lot of them have already crushed below the 200. And again, I was looking at some of the squares, the Pelotons, things like that, which are just way below. But we're still holding above that 200 on Tesla. If Tesla today does close lower than this 200 EMA, I would definitely have some puts on the table for Tesla and try to ride that down. They would have, we're basing right off that 618 retracement off a much longer time frame. But next stop would be 696, and we might even see a 546 again, depending on how this market moves. Little head and shoulders up there. Good drop, good follow through. Again, I'm watching this. The 200 right now is at 829.27. So if we start dipping below that, there could be a little bit of a further drop through on Tesla, but Tesla looks like we will be able to trade it open. So we'll keep that on the list. Delta is another one that we have on our list to trade. And man, we actually might get a lot. I didn't realize. I thought there was some gap downs, but I thought we retraced a lot of it. So Delta, again, we probably look like we're going to have the opportunity to play. Right now on a daily chart, we're sitting at the 21 EMA, and we are looking probably for a retest gap at this point. So I'd actually want to think a little bit more bullish than bearish on this particular one. We'll see what happens. Probably target is up to 42.80. That would actually be a good retest spot. And just depending on how that 200 comes in, it might be a little bit lower, but we'll see what we do. I'm not expecting miracles. And if we don't get an opportunity to play it, just it doesn't set up with our strategy, what I'll do is I'll just kind of wait, look for that area of 42. I'll go a little bit lower because I know the 200 is going to come down a little bit, but I'll just be watching that zone for maybe a short, take it short if if we're not able to catch anything at the open. Apple to me looks like a pretty nice retest to go short. So again, gap down, a lot of those gaps filled pre-market. Apple is no different. So Apple did come up even with this wick. I'm not sure if that's a real wick or not, but that actually got right into the opening. Good little reversal hammer. You have some clear resistance up here. The 200 is coming down on it. And I'll be looking to fade this one probably looking bearish to about 164.88. 164.88 would be the first stop for me. Doesn't give us that much room. Yeah, risk reward on that short probably is not going to be that. That's probably 164.88 is going to be our first bounce spot. I kind of want to see how it does. RSI is about 50%. Yeah, probably just hanging out. I'm not that excited for Apple. I need just bigger range moves. HD is a retest gap. Yep. So a couple of you guys, David saying it in the chat and then in YouTube as well. So yeah, HD, we're looking for some kind of a retest gap. Let me see where this is actually. Hold on. Yeah, you guys want to play this one bullish. I got to extend my screen out. You're at a decent little support. Yeah, probably bullish would be the decent play. You have some divergence on RSI as well, so that could implicate maybe a little bit of a bullish move. So a little divergence there. Yeah, if you're gonna play this thing bullish, I'd be looking for maybe a retest into like 443, 49 would be my spot. I'd just either be taking some partials there and then fully out at 346.19 if you guys want to play that. But I get it. It is a retest gap. The thing I don't like about, and I would be patient at open, so I would let the first 3 minutes pass, and especially if it's a red candle, take the breakout. Sorry, excuse me. Did I mute? Yeah, I muted myself for a second there. Yeah, so Haley's asking about the Qs. Is it going to fall? It definitely looks, I think SPY and Qs both have a little bit more bearish sentiment. So what I would do is, I mean, we're watching the SPY right here. It's already starting to break that uptrend. We have a little bit of technically a bullish pennant pattern. So I'd want to see if this thing breaks. We might have one more leg up, but we'll see if this gets to hang in there for a little bit, just kind of bounce around. So I could honestly, I could go either way. There's been a lot of selling. I think edge is a little bit more bearish still than bullish. I think it's a retest gap, and we retested all pre-market. So everything to me sounds like I'm not exactly jumping for joy if I was a bull right now. Although you're getting a little bit of a move pre-market to try to get out of things. Lucid is going to be one of those stocks where I would just be very, very careful on. They don't sell enough cars. They still lose money. I don't even know if they put cars out yet, to be honest. But yeah, Lucid's valuation in this market, valuation is going to matter. If you're looking to play this one, you're right at support, much longer term support. You're actually kind of breaking that support right now. You're right in a very questionable zone, but how I would look to play this thing, if this thing at all breaks through 25.37, let it get through that pivot, throw your stop up at 25.79, and I'd be looking to go bearish on that play. See if you can break that support. There's not enough room for that retest to the upside for me. So even though your retest is probably somewhere around 26.55, you still have that 200 coming in at 26.33. Again, this is a market where valuation is going to matter, and just the valuation on Lucid is just pretty awful, to say the least. Let's see. We have 2 minutes left. See if there's any more in the keys that I missed. Bagwell says I like AMD. Yeah, out of all the stocks, I'm more bullish than anything on AMD. I just like that hourly candle, but I don't think it's immune to the selling, and I kind of want the selling to come in on AMD just so I can get closer to, on that hourly chart, just kind of retest the hammer entry price and then look to go bullish. Yep, SPY is picking up a little bit on the selling side, so watch that. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles on a 5-minute chart that are all bearish. So I do expect some kind of retest, but I think we head just down. That's the direction I'm looking for. So we got our stocks up here in NVIDIA. Again, I think we can trade this one at open if I'm not mistaken. I'm just talking to myself now at this point just to be sure, but yep, NVIDIA so far we can trade it open. Roblox, we might be able to trade it open. It's gonna be like within the penny or two. Tesla, we should be able to trade it open. Yep. AMD, I like. We cannot trade this at open unless it does jump a little bit higher within the first 20 minutes. Then we get to trade it. Otherwise, we have to wait an hour. DAL, we get to trade. So yeah, actually a lot of things on the list. And then Apple, looks like it got some selling there, just kind of moving with the SPY. Like I said before, it's already pushing into some kind of retest. I'd be looking more bearish than bullish on Apple. I just don't know the risk reward on this thing, unless the entire market starts to really tank today, which it definitely has potential. Let me just see the moving averages. We got 29 seconds left. Oh man, crazy town. But all right, YouTube, appreciate you guys joining me. Hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure you guys run up those thumbs up buttons. Make sure you guys subscribe so any of the content, anytime we go live, you guys are able to check us out. Haley says, you don't think Russia thing will cause a big dip? I think we're already kind of in a big dip, Haley, but yes, it definitely has potential. Everything's going to be news driven, headlines. Market is open. So yeah, if headlines come out, then we have some crazy potential for just some whipsaw back and forth. But you guys are incredible, YouTube. I will catch you guys all. I'll be back on tomorrow for the morning pre-show as well. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys then.